Greatness can come from anywhere.
I draw inspiration from the Filipino people and to God and my family. Hard work is the most difficult things in boxing.
Let's get into it.
And if Bud wants to have that fight at 147, guess what? It's time for Errol to lock the fuck in. I mean, Errol got his ass whooped. Errol got smoked. Errol Spence fans, I mean, everybody trying to give Errol the first round, but it's 12 rounds in the fight. That's number one. And the fight didn't go the distance, but it's still 12 rounds in the fight. And Errol got smoked 90% of the fight, 95% of the fight. So even if you want to give him the first round, what about the rest of the rounds? What about the second round when he actually, this is Bud Crawford, scored the first knockdown of the fight? What about the seventh round when he scored 2 emphatic knockdowns? And that what was going down and what was about to go down, Errol Spence was about to get, I mean, literally stopped. Even though he did get stopped, but I mean by knockout. The ref wasn't going to have to step in there and save him. Derrick James wasn't going to have to step in there and save him, which for the record, he should have did rounds prior to the stoppage in the 9th round. So let's touch on Derrick James real quick, because I also spoke about this. There's been a lot of talk about Shakur Stevenson and Frank Martin. Now I'm hearing speculation of Frank Martin. He fired Derrick James because basically I told y'all this, man. Like, Derrick James has a lot on his plate. He just came off of a fight with Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. They had to fly out there to London with Anthony Joshua for that fight. Yes, AJ did. He squeezed out a win, but I mean, in my opinion, that wasn't really super explosive. AJ was supposed to win that fight. Then to come back and have Errol Spence exercise the rematch clause, and on top of that, Charlo, the biggest fight of his career, facing Canelo Alvarez for undisputed. So if Frank Martin takes that fight with Shakur Stevenson, which the fight is already turned down, Shakur Stevenson is going to be fighting De Los Santos. If Frank Martin backed out of the fight due to money or whatever, in my opinion, he ducked him. But if it was because of the workload of Derrick James, I totally understand that, because that's a big fight for Frank Martin. That's the biggest fight of his career. You want to go into that fight prepared 120%, 120%, because Shakur Stevenson is pound for pound, besides Bud Crawford, the most, I would guess, as far as IQ proficiency and overall skill set, probably the best since Bud Crawford. Second to him, as far as like IQ and talent, that's young and coming up, that I can honestly say, I'll probably have to say Jerron Boots Ennis. But Shakur Stevenson, for sure, is pound for pound a problem for Frank Martin. And I can understand why Frank Martin would like to get paid for that fight. But Devin Haney did the same thing to Shakur Stevenson that Kambosos did. I mean, if you really want that fight, yes, you're going to have to take money. Yes, you're going to have to jump through a couple of hoops. But how bad do you want that fight? How bad do you want to be great? That's what Shakur Stevenson was telling Frank Martin. If you really want it, how bad do you want it? Are you willing to take less money? Are you willing to not only put it all on the line, but also take a short, take a cut? And I know that's hard for fighters to do, but sometimes you have to do that to put yourself in position. Take it back to when Floyd bought himself out of his contract. And after he did that, that was the best $700,000 that he ever spent. Because from there, his career took off. Sometimes you got to pay to play. The purse money to do it, guess what? You playing with house money. And after you win the fight, that's if you win the fight of you, Frank Martin, now you can dictate what's going to be happening. Because guess what? You just be the pound for pound top guy. And on top of that, you're young, you're up and coming in the division. So your fights after that is going to be big fights. It's going to be money fights. I mean, who could be surprised if Shakur Stevenson and Frank Martin, if that fight did take place and Frank Martin, let's just say hypothetically, you beat Shakur Stevenson. Now, forget people like Pitbull Cruz. You beat somebody like Shakur Stevenson, oh man, they want to see you in there with Tank next. So the money would have came for Frank Martin. Bud moving up to face Charlo or Canelo, because it seems like that's what he want to do. I mean, he'll honor the rematch clause, but Bud wants to move up. He wants to fight Canelo. He wants to fight Charlo. Canelo is a seasoned veteran, has a great chin, has a great skill set. Spence versus Crawford, that rematch, in my opinion, I don't think it's in danger of not happening. I think if that fight really wants to happen, I think it's all in Errol Spence's hands. Can he lock in? Have another camp at 147? Will it be tough? Yes. We've seen the pictures of, Errol on vacation. Looks like he's well rested. Talk about he's ready to get back to training at 154. But guess what? That fight had to be at 147. So hopefully he had a great vacation. He got his mind right. He's ready to get back in the gym, because in my opinion, whether it's 47 to 54, if you really want it, you got to go get it. Canelo can get in there and break you down and chop you down. Can Jermell Charlo take Canelo's power? If he can, it's going to be a great fight. But if he can't, Canelo's probably going to systematically break him down and walk away with that fight. But if Jermell Charlo can take his power, and if he can keep Canelo honest, that's going to be a great fight. And it can be anybody's fight after 12 rounds. But if Jermell Charlo can't take Canelo's power, it's a strong possibility that he's going to get stopped in that fight. But don't get it twisted, because if Jermell Charlo can hurt Canelo, don't be surprised if Jermell Charlo hurts Canelo, stops Canelo, or possibly knocks Canelo out. Canelo is getting older. Just because he got a chin doesn't mean he has those same legs that could prevent him from getting knocked out. We shall see. September 30th. That's all I got. Talking to you, stand up as your boy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You already know how I play. Shit, the truth. I'm out.
Fatality.